There, people. This is Mrs. Larson here, and I'm going to show you some tools and techniques in InDesign. We're going to start out by placing photos and images properly. Then we're going to take a look at putting borders on photos. So we're starting pretty simple here. I just have a document that I'm working with to show you some things. It was one of the performances from a couple years ago here at KHS. So I'm going to start by placing my image. The correct way to do this is to go to File menu and choose Place. Avoid dragging and dropping from other programs because you get a copied low resolution image, and InDesign doesn't always like tracing those images. So when we go to print, it's possible that we don't have enough information basically to make a good quality print. So we always want to go to the File menu and place the image. Typically, we're looking for a .tiff, which is a TIFF file. That's our highest resolution, or a JPEG. You can see I have several JPEGs here. I'm choosing one that has a white background. And I think this was the one I was going to use. Yeah, so I've got parts here that I want to take a look at, and then I just hit open. Now, if I had a document that had multiple pages within it that I wanted to use, like for instance, I don't have one open here, but if I wanted to see multiple pages for something, I could hit show import options, and then I can basically choose which page in that document that I want to place. That's a little more advanced, so if you need help with that, don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to go back to my picture and choose open. So I get my image, and this is what I was talking about the options. You may not end up seeing this if you didn't hit that show options button. I'm just going to choose OK because everything is just fine. And here's my image. I want to be careful that I'm not clicking on any text box or anything, so I'm just going to click off to the side, and here's my image that's placed. I'm going to use the three dudes up here, so I'm going to scroll down and just clip this. Now watch out when you go to grab your box. If you hit this circle, you're actually going to be grabbing the picture, and then you're going to be moving the picture with inside the frame. So there's two things that are going on here, and you can see the residual image, if you will, out on the outside. I'm going to move it like so, but I'm going to actually go and click on the frame and resize. So I'm just wanting to click on the outside, and sometimes it's a little awkward in how you have to maneuver things. So I've cropped down around this box for my picture, and let's say I want to put it in here. Obviously it's covering up all of my text, which we'll get to in another image or in another video. But if I want to put a border on this, I just need to go to my control palette. And of course, up along the top, if you don't have your control palette available to you, the default is that it's not there. Drives me crazy. At any rate, we go to the window menu and choose control. There is the shortcut for you if you need it. So window menu and control, and we get this nice dialog box up here that changes with whatever tool that we have. Typically, you're going to be working with the select tool, not that direct selection tool. If you use the direct selection tool, it acts a little differently, and it'll grab what are called anchor points. And again, I will hit those for you later. But we're going to use the selection tool and click on it. And then right up here is, of course, where we have the option if we wanted to fill the document or fill the picture frame. We're not going to see it because it's a JPEG. So we're going to put that back to none. But if I wanted to put a frame on here, this is where I would be able to click on my frame color and then, of course, choose the color that I want to apply. We'll look at making a spot color in another video, but your spot color would show up in here if you were wanting to apply your spot color. So you'll have some default ones that you can work with. And then, of course, there's different ways that you can change the appearance of it. We can increase the stroke. We can change to have a double border. Be careful with these. You can get if you're not using the same border throughout a layout, it's going to look pretty chintzy. So you want to make sure you're keeping things classy and appropriate, and that you have a full direction for it. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. And that's one of those design rules that you really want to abide by. So make sure you're sticking with an overall theme and using things appropriately. Now, if your theme is that you're doing a whole bunch of crazy borders, then okay, that's your theme, but make sure they work well together and it doesn't distract from what the overall message is going to be for your page layout. So that was placing photos and images properly, as well as placing borders on photos.